Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through the noise, stack up those insights, and really distill complex information into the actionable knowledge you need.
That's the plan.
Today, we're diving headfirst into something fascinating, really electrifying the pet food industry. The pivotal, data-driven shifts defining premium pet nutrition in 2025. Think of this as your personalized episode of the Pet Food Insider, basically.
Yeah.
We're aiming to deliver that crucial intelligence brand managers, e-commerce leads, product folks, customer insight specialists. Well, everyone needs to lead the pack.
It's true. And what's really striking in the market reports and surveys we've looked at is just the sheer pace of evolution. Our mission today is to pull out those critical nuggets, helping you understand not just what trends are emerging, but maybe more importantly, why they matter for your product roadmaps, your marketing campaigns, your overall strategy. It's about turning all this data into a real advantage.
Absolutely. Consider this your fast track, your shortcut to staying ahead of the curve. So let's unpack this material, zero in on the key themes for 2025. And we should probably kick off with that big one, the pervasive trend of pet humanization and its, well, seismic impact on the pet wellness market. I mean, when we say pets are part of the family, that's really moved beyond just a cute saying now, hasn't it? The data seems pretty clear. This humanization is fundamentally reshaping how pet parents approach care.
It really is.
Can you walk us through how this is manifesting, especially with, health claims and some of those, frankly, surprising emerging wellness services?
Absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, pet ownership is really shifting. It's moving from basic caretaking to curating entire lifestyles. It's blurring the lines with human experiences in ways we probably wouldn't have imagined just a few years ago.
Like what?
Well, we're seeing the rise of dedicated pet fitness centers, for instance, like Shanghai's Go-Go Gym. They're offering state-of-the-art facilities, tailored exercise programs, spas, even rehabilitation areas for dogs and cats.
Wow.
This strong emphasis on preventive care, on overall well-being, it's a massive shift. It really mirrors what we've seen in human health and fitness,
Pet gyms and spas. That's genuinely wild. But I guess it makes complete sense given how integrated pets are into our lives now.
Exactly.
So, okay, beyond these services, how is this humanization influencing what pet parents are willing to pay for in their food, in the actual product?
Right, and that's a critical question for anyone in product management. There was a recent study, May 2025, analyzing over 1,000 dry dog foods on Chewy.com, and it reveals some significant price premiums tied to specific health claims.
Okay.
For example, allergy relief products. Now, they only represented about 2% of the market data in this study, but they commanded an impressive 17% premium in price per pound.
17%.
Yeah, averaging $3.89 a pound. This isn't just a niche thing, it suggests a strong supply-side factor, indicating really high demand for these specialized solutions. We also saw weight management up there at $3.52, and sensitive skin or sensitive digestion, both around $3.19.
Interesting.
And notably, sensitive digestion, which was present in a significant 24% of products, still enjoyed a 3.7% premium. That signals a pretty robust, demand-driven market for gut health. Conversely, things like dental breath care, muscle care, immune support, those showed the lowest average prices, like $2.63 to $2.74.
Those premiums are really compelling. So for brand managers, this clearly means messaging around allergy relief or sensitive digestion.
Right.
Well, it isn't just resonating, it's actually justifying that premium pricing.
Right.
But here's a question. If everyone starts pushing these same claims, is there a risk of dilution? How do brands maintain that value proposition long term?
That's a really perceptive point. And the key isn't just making the claim, right? It's substantiating it and connecting it to a deeper, genuine need. So for customer insight managers, it's absolutely essential to understand why these claims are so valuable in the first place.
Okay.
The data shows a clear link to pet health realities. The Association for Pet Obesity Prevention's 2022 study found 59% of U.S. dogs were overweight or obese. That's up 3% since 2018.
Wow, nearly 60%.
Yeah. And a UK study found nearly 2/3, 66% of dogs had at least one health disorder. These aren't just stats. They're direct drivers of demand for specific health solutions. So the value is really rooted in addressing these widespread, genuine pet health issues. And for e-commerce managers, this also really highlights the importance of using those filtering capabilities on platforms, right? Helping consumers find these high-value attributes quickly.
It's clear pet parents are deeply invested. Okay, so beyond fitness centers, specialized food, you mentioned luxury travel for pets. That really sounds like a whole new frontier.
It kind of is. We're seeing luxury pet resorts like Germany's Canis Resort offering concierge services, massage, physiotherapy
For pets.
for pets. And then there's pet travel itself. Delta was ranked America's most pet-friendly airline, scoring 99 out of 100. But even more striking is Bark Air. It's a dedicated luxury airline just for dogs.
No way.
Yes, offering transatlantic routes complete with calming aids, in-flight meals. It's basically first class for Fido.
That's incredible.
And as a real sign of where things are heading, China opened its first dedicated airport pet terminal just this past April 2025 at Guangzhou Baiyun International Airport. It's designed like a human VIP lounge, check-in, grooming, vet services,
Rudeness.
works.
A cat terminal.
Yeah, this isn't just a niche, it signifies a massive shift in what pet parents expect for their companions' overall well-being.
Okay, that humanization trend is undeniable, clearly shaping everything.
Right.
Let's pivot now maybe from those broad strokes to the nitty-gritty of consumer preferences. I'm particularly interested in that new 2025 survey data from Nexton Research you mentioned. It sheds light on the crucial differences between wet and dry pet food purchasers. What's the key takeaway there for our listeners?
Okay, yeah, this is where it gets really interesting, especially for product managers and brand managers. The data reveals that while wet and dry food shoppers share a lot of similarities, there are these crucial distinctions. Especially when you break it down by species cats versus dogs, you absolutely cannot treat them as one monolithic group.
Right.
So take cat parents, the ones buying wet food. They're significantly more likely to consider food with gut benefits.
Okay.
We're talking 57% of wet food cat parents influenced by contains probiotics versus only 50% of dry food cat parents. They also favor prebiotics more, and they're more prone to positive experiences with things like lickable treats. So it suggests a real link between the format and perceived health benefits, at least for cats.
So wet food buyers, generally speaking, seem more tuned into gut health. That's a pretty clear signal for formulation team.
All right.
What about protein types? There's been a lot of buzz, about insect protein gaining traction. Is it really catching on with the general pet-owning public, or is it still pretty niche?
That's a critical question for product managers looking at novel ingredients, right? And the data here offers a pretty clear, maybe slightly surprising answer. While insects are definitely a cutting-edge protein source, sustainability, nutritional profile, the survey indicates they haven't really caught on broadly, especially with dry dog food shoppers.
Oh, really?
Yeah. A significant 64% of dry dog food shoppers said seeing black soldier fly larvae as the first ingredient would make them less likely to purchase it.
64%. That's high resistance.
It is. For crickets, it was still 58% for dry food shoppers versus a slightly lower 48% for wet food dog parents. So still resistance, but less in wet.
Okay, that's a notable difference. So if you're formulating with insect protein, maybe think about wet formats first, or at least be very, very strategic about your messaging for dry products. Maybe emphasize the why behind it more.
Exactly. It means clarity and targeting are absolutely paramount. The data also clearly shows that wet food purchasers seem to be more concerned about palatability. Maybe they perceive their pets as pickier eaters. So for both formulators and marketers, understanding these nuanced differences in perception, whether it's for functional ingredients like probiotics or novel proteins like insects, it allows for much more targeted R&D and crucially, truly impactful messaging. It's about leaning into these specific subgroup preferences rather than trying that kind of one-size-fits-all approach, which clearly isn't working here.
Right.
Like for insect proteins, the messaging for dry food probably needs to really highlight benefits like digestibility or sustainability more prominently, maybe downplay the ingredient itself compared to how you might approach it in wet food.
Makes sense. Okay, so given these evolving, very nuanced consumer preferences, how should brands be thinking about their marketing? Especially with the explosion of social media. What's the latest on this pet-fluencer phenomenon? Is it actually effective?
Well, what's fascinating here is a small study, but an interesting one, published in the Journal of Advertising Research just this April 2025. It found that pet-fluencers seem to have a distinct, quantifiable advantage over human social media influencers, SMI specifically when it comes to trustworthiness and ROI.
Really? How so?
The study found pet posts reached slightly more viewers, like 18,200 versus 17,600 for human ads, but, more importantly, showed a better return on investment.
I can totally see that. Pets just cut through the noise, don't they? They're inherently relatable, trustworthy. But does this also mean less control for brands, given that very unfiltered nature pets are kind of praised for.
Mm-hmm.
So for e-commerce managers and marketing managers, investing in these partnerships, like Nala the cat, worth an estimated $114 million, apparently sounds great. But what about that risk factor?
It's a valid concern, the control aspect. But the data suggests the benefits, particularly around authenticity, might outweigh those risks. The reason for their effectiveness, according to this study, is that pets are seen as more genuine, more sincere. They have no hidden agenda, as the researchers put it.
Right.
And they don't come with the baggage or, potential scandals that sometimes follow human influencers. It seems to counter that rising influencer fatigue we're hearing so much about.
Interesting. So the lack of control could actually be their strength.
Potentially, yes. The perceived authenticity is key. Now, moving beyond marketing for a sec, we also have to consider the broader economic climate. How are pet parents reacting to potential price increases, especially with things like tariffs?
Yeah, that's a constant challenge, isn't it? What does the latest data tell us about consumer resilience when costs go up?
This definitely raises an important question about resilience. A June 2025 survey from ESW, they're a big player in e-commerce, it reveals a pretty stark reality. 60% of U.S. consumers say they'll abandon purchases if prices rise beyond 10% because of tariffs.
Oh, 60%.
Yeah. And for customer insight managers, it's worth noting that 70% of all consumers plan to reduce overall spending due to tariffs, with millennials apparently leading those cutbacks.
Right.
However, here's where pet food really stands out. 33% of consumers say they will continue to pay for pet supplies regardless of tariff increases.
Wow.
That places it second only to groceries. It positions pet food as this incredibly resilient, high-priority category.
Okay, so for product managers and brand managers trying to navigate pricing and perceived value, this suggests pet food is somewhat insulated, maybe, but definitely not entirely immune to economic pressures.
Exactly.
So what's the key strategy here? How do you maintain that value perception?
It absolutely underscores the need for really strategic pricing and super clear value communication. Even though pet supplies are a priority, consumers are still looking for value. That hasn't changed. They want free shipping, they want loyalty rewards, they want transparent communication about any price increases. No surprises.
Makes sense.
It also really highlights the importance of e-commerce. Nearly 40% of consumers perceive online shopping as less expensive anyway, and almost half, 49%, plan to spend more online because they feel they have greater purchase options.
Right. And speaking of consumer values, what about sustainability? It's such a huge topic in human food. How does that translate to pet food choices?
Yeah, that's a complex one, as you say. Consumers often say they value it, but will they actually pay more?
Exactly. What's the data show?
You're spot on. While 2/3 of consumers say they are trying to be more sustainable, nearly 53% state they will not spend more for eco-friendly products.
Okay. The intention-action gap.
Precisely. However, a majority do say they consider the environmental impact, that's 51%, and ethical production, 54%, when they're shopping. So what this implies for brand managers is that you need to integrate sustainability into your messaging, maybe focus on ethical sourcing, environmental impact, but without necessarily demanding a direct price premium for it. It's more about building that brand trust and affinity rather than seeing it purely as a driver for higher margins right now.
Got it. All right, let's try and pull together the threads from this deep dive. We've covered probiotic wet diets, insect protein, and Pet-fluencer ROI. Quite a mix.
We have.
So what are the, say, 2 or 3 critical strategic imperatives for our listeners? For folks in the pet food industry looking to really thrive in 2025 and beyond?
Okay. Yeah, for brand leaders looking ahead, here are what I see as the crucial insights and, maybe more importantly, the calls to action. First, deepen and diversify your humanization strategy. Don't just pay lip service to it. Double down on those functional health claims that address specific, documented pet health concerns like allergies, like sensitive digestion, because these command significant premiums and they reflect genuine consumer demand. And at the same time, explore calculated opportunities in that burgeoning pet wellness and luxury service sector. The pet experience is mirroring human lifestyles. The brands that really capture this will win.
Okay, deepen and diversify humanization. What's next?
Second, navigate nuanced consumer segments with precision. You have to recognize the distinct preferences of wet versus dry food purchasers, particularly around gut health benefits and that willingness or lack thereof to consider novel proteins like insects. This isn't just, a marketing nicety. It directly informs targeted R&D and allows for highly personalized marketing messages that actually resonate with these specific subgroups rather than those broad, often ineffective campaigns.
Precision targeting. Got it. And number 3.
And third, optimize marketing and pricing for economic volatility. Leverage the inherent trustworthiness and that compelling ROI of pet-fluencers to build authentic brand connections. Connections that cut through the noise of general influencer fatigue. But at the same time, prepare for ongoing price sensitivity due to those economic pressures. Emphasize value, offer loyalty incentives, ensure transparent communication about any cost increases. Remember, while pet food is a priority purchase, value remains absolutely key.
Excellent. Deepen humanization, precision segmentation, and optimize for volatility. That's a strong trio. And that wraps up our deep dive into the data-driven shifts defining 2025 premium pet nutrition. We've explored, well, everything from the latest insights on probiotic wet diets and that surprising resistance to insect protein, all the way to the growing impact of pet-fluencers and the economic realities shaping consumer behavior.
Yeah, thank you for joining us today. We really hope this provides a clear, data-driven roadmap for navigating the exciting opportunities, but also the complex challenges that lie ahead. The pet food landscape is nothing if not dynamic. Continuous adaptation based on sharp, actionable insights, that's going to be key to leading the market.
Absolutely. Until next time, remember that understanding these nuanced shifts isn't just about market trends. It's really about truly connecting with the evolving needs and expectations of pet parents. So, as you consider your next move, maybe ask yourself, what one overlooked insight from today's discussion might just be the breakthrough your brand needs? Keep exploring, keep learning.